I think I'm losing control of my own mind. No, not think. I can feel it slipping, like something inside me is moving faster than I can follow. It doesn't stop. That's the problem. It never stops. Even now, while I'm talking to you, there's another layer underneath this voice, commenting, correcting, watching me speak. I can't just exist in a moment. I monitor it, I dissect it while it's happening, and then I analyze the analysis. There's a hum behind my eyes, constant, mechanical, like I'm plugged into something that doesn't power down. I try to sit still and my body obeys, but my mind, it keeps pacing, back and forth, replaying conversations from years ago. Imagining futures that haven't happened, preparing responses to arguments that don't exist, and sometimes I wonder, if I stopped thinking, would something unbearable surface? That's what scares me, because silence feels dangerous. I watch other people relax. I watch them laugh without scanning the room first. I watch them fall in love without rehearsing the ending, and I don't understand how they're not bracing for impact all the time. Every expression means something. Every shift in tone is data. Every pause is loaded. I don't hear words. I hear subtext. I hear what's missing. I hear what's about to happen. I tell myself it's awareness, but it feels like surveillance. Like I'm trapped in a control tower scanning for disasters that may never come. And the worst part is, I don't remember when it started. I just know there was a time when I didn't think like this. When I felt things directly. When sadness was just sadness, not an investigation. When love wasn't a risk assessment. Somewhere along the way, my mind became my shield. I learned to predict before I could trust. Learned to analyze before I could feel. Learned that if I could understand everything, maybe nothing could hurt me. But understanding doesn't stop pain. It just delays it. I can trace someone's behavior back to their childhood in seconds. I can forgive them before they apologize. I can rationalize betrayal until it sounds like fate, and yet I still feel it. It sounds paranoid when I say it out loud, but in my head it feels logical. That's what makes it worse, because I can build an entire argument for why something is wrong, why someone is leaving, why I'm about to be abandoned. And I can't tell if it's intuition or distortion. Carl Jung talked about the shadow, the parts of us we refuse to see. I wonder if my shadow isn't rage or cruelty. Maybe it's fear. Maybe it's the terrified child who learned that safety disappears without warning. But I don't want to reduce this to childhood. I don't want a neat explanation, because sometimes it feels bigger than that. It feels neurological. It feels like my brain is running at a speed my nervous system can't sustain. And then it shifts. I get irritated at everyone, at their simplicity, at their ease, at their ability to live without interrogating existence every 5 minutes. I feel angry that I can't just enjoy something without analyzing its impermanence. Angry that I see the ending before the beginning has even settled, and then the anger turns inward. Why am I like this? Why can't I just stop? Why does my mind feel like it's chewing on itself? I actually pace, back and forth in my room like there's a physical threat. My chest tightens. My hands shake slightly. I tell myself to breathe, but the breath feels mechanical. Am I going insane? No, calm down. But what if I am? What if this constant hyper-awareness is the beginning of something worse? What if I've crossed the line between depth and instability and I didn't notice? What if this isn't intelligence? What if it's deterioration? I can't slow it down. I try to focus on something simple. the wall, the floor, the sound of my own breathing, but my mind splits again, one part observing, one part panicking, one part narrating this very moment. This isn't normal. Is it? Is this how it starts? The spiral, the fracture, the losing grip. I press my hands against my temples like I can physically contain it. It doesn't help. The thoughts keep layering, rapid, sharp, overlapping. What if I've been mistaking rumination for wisdom? What if all these years I've been calling it depth because admitting its fear would break something? Viktor Frankl wrote about meaning, about surviving through it. I used to cling to that idea, that if I could find meaning in everything, I'd be safe. But meaning doesn't stop the noise. Meaning doesn't quiet the hum. And right now the hum is loud. I feel like I'm standing at the edge of myself, watching my own mind operate without consent. And there's a moment, just a flicker, where I don't trust my perception, where coincidence feels intentional, where a simple delay in response feels like confirmation of abandonment. And I know how that sounds. I know. But in the moment it feels real, too real. I question whether this is trauma or something more. And the fact that I even ask that makes my stomach drop. I don't want to pathologize myself. I don't want to dramatize this. But I can't ignore the fracture either. There are days I feel almost superior in my clarity, and days I feel on the brink of collapse. Calm, then irritation, then fear, then anger, then numbness, then panic, then this strange, fragile awareness where I'm just sitting on the floor, staring at nothing, aware of how thin the line feels. The mask cracks quietly. People think I'm composed. They don't see the internal courtroom, the endless trial, every decision questioned, every emotion cross-examined. I've intellectualized my own heartbreak so many times, I don't know what it feels like unfiltered. I don't cry immediately. I analyze first. I understand first. And then later, alone, it hits like something physical, heavy, uncontained. And I realize I've been delaying my own pain with thought, that maybe I've been hiding inside cognition, using it as insulation, but insulation also isolates. And here I am, brilliant, articulate, exhausted, terrified of silence, terrified of what would surface if the hum stopped, because if the thoughts go quiet, what's left? Would I finally feel everything I've been dodging? Would I collapse? Or would I disappear? I don't have the answer, and for once, I'm not trying to find one. I'm just sitting here, listening to the hum, aware of it, not healed, not resolved, just aware. My mind still moves, still scanning, still questioning whether this awareness is a gift or a fracture. I don't feel stable. I don't feel broken either. I feel mid-fall, like I haven't hit the ground yet, like something inside me is still deciding whether to let go, and I'm here with it, watching, not understanding, not fixing, just noticing how thin the silence feels tonight. I think I'm about to lose my mind. Not metaphorically, not poetically, I mean actually lose it. There's something inside my head that won't slow down. And I can't tell if I'm the one thinking anymore or if the thinking is happening to me. It starts small. It always does. A tiny observation, a shift in someone's tone, a look that lingers half a second too long, and my mind grabs it, turns it over, zooms in, replays it. At first it feels sharp, intelligent, protective. Then it grows. I can't just hear words, I hear what they meant, I hear what they almost said, I hear what they'll say next week when they're tired of me. I don't sit in moments. I dissect them while they're still breathing. And there's this hum. Constant. Like electrical wiring behind my eyes. Even when I'm still, it's not. I tell myself I'm just observant. But normal people don't rehearse future heartbreak at breakfast. Normal people don't monitor their own facial expressions mid-conversation. I do. I watch myself from the outside sometimes, not in a mystical way, in a split way. One part speaking, one part analyzing tone, posture, risk. It wasn't always like this. There was a time I felt things directly, before I learned to scan the air for changes, before silence meant danger. Somewhere early, too early, I realized moods shift without warning. That warmth can evaporate. That love can cool. So I learned to predict. Prediction became safety. If I could think fast enough, I wouldn't be blindsided. If I could read the tremor before the storm, I wouldn't drown. But now the storm is gone, and the scanning never stopped. Freud said something about repetition compulsion, about reliving what hurt us without knowing. I hate that idea. I don't want to be a cliche. I don't want this to be some tidy origin story. It feels more mechanical than that. Like my nervous system is permanently set to alert. Every message I receive, I read twice, 3 times, searching for withdrawal, for distance. Every delay becomes evidence. Every silence becomes proof. And I can build a case. I can construct an airtight argument for why I'm about to be left. It sounds insane when I say it like that, but inside it feels rational. That's the frightening part. I don't feel hysterical. I feel logical. And yet the logic keeps looping. If someone smiles differently, I catalog it. If they laugh less, I store it. If they seem distracted, I trace it back to something I must have done. I don't even realize I'm doing it until I'm exhausted. Exhausted from thinking. Exhausted from carrying conversations long after they've ended. I lie awake replaying words from years ago, rewriting them, optimizing them. Why? They're over. But my mind treats everything like it's still live. Like danger never expires. There are moments when it escalates. I'll be fine, calm, composed. Then something small tips it, a memory, a tone, a subtle shift, and suddenly my chest tightens. I actually pace, back and forth. Like there's something in the room with me. Am I losing perspective? Is this normal anxiety? Or is this the beginning of something worse? R.D. Laing once questioned who defines madness. I remember reading that and feeling seen. But tonight, it doesn't feel philosophical. It feels close, too close. I press my palms into my temples like I can physically hold the noise in place. Am I going insane? Say it. Am I? Or is this just what happens when someone thinks too long without rest? Viktor Frankl talked about meaning being survival. I clung to that once. Believed if I could extract meaning from everything, I'd stay grounded. But meaning doesn't stop panic. Meaning doesn't quiet the racing. There's a second, brief, where I don't trust my own interpretation of reality. That terrifies me more than anything, because if I can't trust my perception, what do I have? I oscillate. Calm, irritation, fear, anger, numbness, panic. Then this thin, fragile awareness where I'm just watching myself fracture in real time.